Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com, and it's 4 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, November 7th. So before we get into it, let's just look at the scheduled news for today. Uh, we have uh, University of Michigan preliminary at 10, so usually have a little volatility around then. And then we're going to have consumer credit at 3, which is normally a nothing burger. But with things going on in the economy right now, that could be a wild card because we always have a little volatility in the last hour anyway. So if something really spooks the market on that, you could get just a flush potentially. Uh, and then you're going to also have an FOMC member speaking that's going to monetary policy and stable coins. So if you play crypto, maybe that's going to be a thing, but I don't think it's going to be a thing for anybody else. Uh, Looking at yesterday's action, right? Nice distribution in the overnight session, followed by just the royal flush uh, during the bell session. And then as we look at, just the keep me out of trouble fibs, as I call them, we come up to that halfway back short for the bell trading, and then, just roll down into a little bit past lunch. And if you look at for the session, right, who's having to redraw? It's the bulls having to redraw until that lunchtime. And then what did it do? It just rallied up into the session 38.2 short and kind of petered off in the overnight session with that target from that one being at 25,050. I think we got down to 25,083 in the overnight session. So, oops, I'm looking at the wrong chart. Sorry. Uh, got down to 2561 in the overnight session, 62 right around in there. So very close to filling that end of the day target. Just on those nothing fibs. Remember, those fibs don't carry any weight compared to the fibs that Jack's watching. They're just, like I said, keep me out of trouble fibs. And then looking at also, that when you have those days, right? And this is almost the diver down, as I call them. So we went over the Superman earlier this week when you say between the +1 and the +2 standard deviation for a lot of the session until it cracks. The diver down is, between the -1 and the -2, and then, going from there. But, that failure to make a lower low, uh, and it probably was a little bit of divergence. I'm not zoomed in enough to see there on the charts as well. Uh, but you're getting down into the dirt there. Looking at really where we're at now, you can see that in the overnight session, right? As mentioned, we carried down a little bit lower than we had. We are also, remember, we had that 6 week distribution here. We are now in that 6 week distribution. So, profile theory says there's potential to reach the bottom side of that distribution before it's over. So, you can look at, things going up and forth. Of course, we should, use eyeball this. You can see we're coming into probably some type of a halfway back long from that swing low to that swing high. But if that doesn't, if the 50 and the 61.8 don't hold, I mean, you're probably looking at the bottom of balance, which might not be exactly this low, but it'll be close to it. So keep in mind if you're getting cocky thinking about, longs, there's your risk. So make sure you have your stops on if you're trying to, go the other way. I think we beat that up. And then looking at the overnight session, one thing that I'm watching right now, just for a day trade, is there's an auction below this 25,084, right? You can see the expected low move of the day is 24,967. And again, I always say, that's just for us day traders. You need help from, an outside catalyst. The VIX needs to be, doing something outside of the previous day's range if you're going to get below that, hold above it. So as uh, what I'm watching is to see if we can hold in this auction that's above 25,084. If we do, I think we could swing up into, the gap fill and potentially even higher. We could get up into yesterday's point of control, which would be 360, and then potentially value the low side of value area high, which is 25,407. However, breaking this and breaking the overnight low should just trend down into that danger zone. Remember, that's a different auction here, and if we, pull this chart up, there's really no give back in this. This next auction runs all the way down to 25 or 24,556 with a little break point at 24,004. I'm sorry, 24,646 is that other break point. So things get dicey below here. I'd be looking for lots of different things to trade against if I was getting long below this 24,084. To be honest with you, either that or you just take your dive with a you know bracket on and see what happens, but don't do it open ended down there for sure. uh, Looking at positioning, on the cash market, it's just the 50s, the 6,800, 6,750. We closed at 60, just above 6,700 yesterday. um, so we could uh, we're down about 27 points right now after a close at 20. So we're just under 6,700. So you can see 6690's got a little bit of a buffer, and not a lot. Then you got stuff between 6670 and 6680, and then you got 6650 would be the next thing down. Getting back above 6,700, you've got pretty clear way all the way up to 6730, then 6750, and then we just have to watch from there. Uh, the cash is a little bit. There's nothing on the cash that's going to be easier to read today, in my opinion. Looking at the SPY, we're currently trading 667. The So you can see at 660, there's a lot of gamma, uh, and we closed it at 670. So that's probably going to be a little bit of resistance. You can see the gamma in there. So let's see what happens if we get down to 665. The overnight low was 666.8, so 666 and 80 cents was the overnight low. So you got some gamma at 665, but you can see it's nowhere near the gamma that's at 660. And if we look back up to the top of the chart for today and next week, you can see 663 should be a little bit of a break point, but you can see you can get down to that 660 uh, pretty easily as well. So, that would be about another 67 handles below where we're currently trading. And then you can see, getting back up above 670, you're probably going to need help from the VIX, confirming that move is wholesome. Looking at the Qs are currently trading at 608 after closing at 611, and we've been down to 607 27. So we're not too far off the overnight lows right now. Uh, so we're sitting here in this area of the charts. And then you can see there's a lot for today's expiration between 603 and 605 with a large, wall at 600. So if you get down to 600, you're going to need a lot of help from the VIX, and that would induce a fierce negative feedback loop if the VIX is rising and we're below 600 later. So, you know, uh, by all means, no longs until you're back up above 600 after breaking below it. And then you just have to see if you can clear. But you can see for next week, that's a lot of gamma at 600. And then 610 to the upside would you can float between 610 and 615 to 620. And again, you need help from the VIX on all of that. So really, again, just to make it simple, I'm watching, right where we're at right now. We're, about to give up this auction. You can see we've split down into it, And then there's really a wide open door below this. So we'll have to see how long we live. Anything back up above would be failure to or a rejection of this lower auction below 25,084. And then again, you're looking at just yesterday's low, gap fill, the point of control, uh, value area low, or value area high, but on the low side is all I'd be looking for to the upside today. I hope this helps. We'll see what Jack's looking at next. It should be an interesting session.